To get started, you want to arrange your threads in the colour order that you want them to be. Then you can separate them into two sections. And then you want to take the two colours in the middle, so one's from one section and one's from the other section. And I'm going to be working left to right here, but if you're left-handed you can do it the other way around if you prefer. And then I'm going to knot these two threads together. And then instead of working from either side, I'm just going to continue going down the side that I've already started knotting over. And then I'm going to be knotting away from the centre each time. And I'm going to keep doing this over each colour in the sequence until I get to the end. And once you've got one thread left, again, just knot over this away from the centre. So to do the second row, I'm going to go back to the other side and take one of the threads that I haven't knotted with yet, and the next one in the sequence. But this time, to create the slightly different direction, I'm going to go knot toward the centre, then I'm going to reverse positions and knot away. And then dropping the thread I've just knotted with and taking the one I just knotted over, I'm going to use that one to knot over the next thread and do the same thing again. So knot one direction and then knot the other direction. And then I'm going to repeat this process over the next colour in the sequence. And then doing the same thing again with the thread that you just knotted over, knot in one direction and then knot in the other direction. You want to do the same thing again until you get to the end. And once you've completed that row, go back to your unknotted threads, take the next colour in the sequence, and this time you're just going to knot in the same direction all the way down, the same way you did with your first row. And once you get to the end of this row, once again just go back to your unknotted cords and take the next one in the colour sequence, and this time you're going to do your alternating knotting. Take your first thread and then knot it in one direction and then reverse positions and knot away. And then taking the thread you just knotted over, do the same thing over the next thread and so on until you get to the end. Once you've completed that row, you want to do the same that you did in the row before. So this time you're just going to be knotting in the same direction all the way down. And then with your last thread, you're again going to do your alternating knots. So once you've knotted all your threads, you should see your pattern starting to emerge. And now you're just going to continue with this simple 2-row repeat pattern. So for your next row, you're going to be knotting the same direction every time, and then for the next row, you're going to alternate again, and so on, until you've got the bracelet as long as you want it to be. So once you've done a few more rows, you should see your pattern starting to look a bit clearer. And you can just continue doing this until you get the bracelet as long as you want it. Once you've got it as long as you want, it should look something like this. And as you'll see, your end is still diagonal because that's the way you've been knotting. So you can leave it like that, or you can straighten the edge like me. So you want to take 2 threads out of the way, and then you want to continue with your pattern, but making sure that you don't knot the last 2 threads. So once you get to your last 2 threads, just leave them like I said, and then for your next row you're going to leave the last 4 threads. And you can clip them to the board to keep them out of the way to remind you if you want. And then with the remainder of the threads, you're just going to continue with the same pattern you were doing for the rest of your bracelet. Once you've completed that next row, you can put the last 2 threads out of the way with the other ones. So you're not going to be knotting over these for your next row. And for each subsequent row until you've flattened out your bracelet, you want to make sure that you drop 2 threads for each subsequent row. And once you've done that, it should look something like this. So you can see you've flattened out your edge, and now you can separate your threads into 2 sections of 2. And then you want to split what's left in one section into sections of 3, and then braid the ends. And you want to do this at both sides, and then tie off the ends. So once you've braided as long as you want to tie a knot in all your threads at the ends to keep them in place. And try and match your 2 knots together so that the braided ends are pretty much equal. Once you've done that, you can trim off any excess and do the same on the other side. So then you can remove your bracelet from the board, and it should look something like this. So now you can try on your bracelet. And that is your completed two-way striped friendship bracelet.